Hi folks, this is the day 4 of 30-day series of building SaaS applications with AI and prompt only. And today we are going to talk about APIs. What are those? What are the popular methods? How to use them with a live example in the Lovable itself. So let's get into it. API explained like you are 5. So let's understand. You write code to solve problems. So this is how you use AI, right? You prompt it and it gives you solution. These are the ways you build an application which solves a problem. But you have two options. Either you write code by you or either you write code by someone else. By the meaning of code by you, I mean the code which you write with the help of AI. You prompt it and it generates a code and it is staying in your code base. So this is a code by you, which is the red pill. And if it is someone else's code, for example, you are watching my videos and you are using my code, then you are choosing the blue pill. So let's understand this analogy to understand water code. So we generate code to solve problems, and there are two type of code by me and code by you. So red pill and blue pill. But you want to save time, right? You want to save time, then what do? Then you will choose blue pill, code by someone else. So if I've already built something, why shouldn't you choose that? You should always choose that, right? And there are a lot of ways to share my code. Either I can share my whole code base, either I can share my codes, like whole code. Yeah, that is one example. Either I can share my whole code, either I can share my code's result via some URL, like you request to my server and my server will respond back to you. So this is the second method where I can share, and that is what we call API. So let me give you some example to understand it very clearly. So if you're using OpenAI's GPT-5 capabilities, you're using API. There, even if they give you the code, you cannot host and deploy, right? It is a large code. So even if they have released open source models, if you want to run it, you need large infrastructure. But what you do, you can either use through Open Router or you can use the URL endpoint provided by the OpenAI itself for GPT-5. Similarly, for Claude's Anthropic team gives you URL and you just send request and it returns back the response. And there is also one communication, that is, if you are building microservices, that we call something which codes which are not in the same code base, they are segregated in different code bases, then they can communicate via API. So front end will send a request to back end will return a response to front end, and this is how they communicate via API. So you have to understand it is just code A communicating with code B and via a URL. So we will not get into the authentication right now, but we will understand the basics of it. So there are many protocols for API, and that is GraphQL, SOAP, MQTT, REST, and JSON RPC. You must have heard JSON RPC if you know MCP protocol. So MCP uses JSON RPC behind the scene, and REST is the popular one. So if I am sharing my code via URL, like you are requesting something to my server, you probably use REST API. So this is the popular method, and OpenAI also prefers the REST API. So for the request, you send post request, get request, and it depends. So in REST API, you need to know 5 HTTP methods, and that is get request, post request, put request, patch request, and delete. So what exactly is get request? So what happens in get request is that you actually ask something. You ask something and you don't send something. So you just plain like what is your name? You don't send something. But in post request, you send something. So you ask something with a body. So the question could be what is my age, and I give you my birth certificate with that. So with that you will calculate my age with the difference year, right? And that is how it works. Input request, it is something where you want to update something. So for example, if you're building front end and back end, and you are building a to-do list, and my in my to-do list I have completed one task, and I want to update that detail. So right now it was marked as incomplete, but I want to mark as complete. So I will just update this status, like the whole body. So again, I ask something with the with a body. So put request and post request looks similar, but in patch request it is different. In patch request I only update that particular thing. So earlier what I was doing in put request was that I was sending my task name, mark as complete, date, time, everything. But in patch request I will send the task ID, and I will send the status, like the it was marked as complete. So in patch request we ask something with a selective body. And again, delete is something I ask something with a body where I will share only the ID which I am referring to. So this is how it works. This is how the REST API works, and this is a summary. So in asks something, you actually don't send something in the body, but if you want to send, you can also send something in body. And what do you send? You send maybe limit, like I want record of 50 people, 100 people, 10 people. That type of parameters you send in get request. In post request, you send something with a body which you want to store, or you which you want to send to the server for context. So that is the thing. And this are something which are required not in the public server, but which are required for your own database changes. Like if I'm building front end and back end, I need to update the data, and that's where I will use put, patch, and delete. And this is the two methods which I will communicate with other public servers. So you can see majorly used one is get request and post request. So let's demo it. So we have understood everything about API, what are get request, post request, put request, patch, and delete. What are the most used one, that is get and post. And we will now see a live example. So you have seen this landing page which I have created in day 1 and day 2 using just AI prompts, which you can see here. It was just created using AI prompts with UI libraries help, so that our prompt was niche. Now let's do one thing. So you can see it is $0 in the starter plan and $25 per month plan. Okay, the UI is getting loaded. So let me reload this page in Lovable itself. Okay, I think the connection is out. So let me do a full reload. So you can see it is loaded, and okay, it is loading. You can see the loading on. So you can see it is showing $25 per month and $0 per forever. But $25 per month is USD. If you want to convert it to euro, if you want to convert it to some local currency, how will you do it? So this is where API will come to rescue us, and I will show you how. So you can see in this particular code, we are using US dollar. But if you are someone who is browsing it from France, you want to see something in your local currency. If you're browsing from England, then you want to watch it in your local currency, right? So, and if you're watching it from India, you want to see it in your local currency to understand and estimate the proper prices. So you don't have to convert it into your local currency by opening a calculator. You just want to do it easy for your customers. So how will you do it? So we will use APIs here. So let me show you example. So I prepared a prompt which you can see in the pricing section component, show dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing based on user's location. Use the appropriate fetch request and convert it to the local currency. So here we are using two API calls. One for location fetching and another for currency conversion, because currency conversion changes. So we cannot hard code it. And we will use API so that it gets updated every time the currency changes. And base price is USD, which is already there in the pricing component, and use skeleton to load and use suspense to load the UI. So for example, it doesn't block our whole application. For that component, it just loads the skeleton, and till the time you are like the user browse to the bottom or to the pricing section, they will get the pricing in the local currency. So let's do it. So let's see whether Lovable can do it or not. If not, I may have to spin up my cursor. Let's see. I think in the free request, it allows us to do that daily. So let's see. So you can see I've already enabled GPT-5 and it is available until 12 a.m. Sunday, August 10th. Okay, so let's say it is thinking it will use GPT-5 for its capability, and GPT-5 is free, I guess, in Lovable till the time. So let's see it. Okay, guys. So this is taking time, and this task is very simple, so it can be done by any AI LLM model. So what we will do, we will restore this. We cannot restore, so we will stop this, and we will say, okay, resume. So it knows what it needs to do. So again, it is using thinking. I'm not sure why it is using thinking. Thinking is not required. So you can see it has started to implement it. So it is first of all creating the skeleton. It has read the skeleton and now it is reading the package JSON. And since we are using React in the Lovable, so it is using React query. So it will use custom hooks for user location, use currency conversion for another hook, and use pricing. Like 3 hooks it will create. And it will create 2 utilities, format price and convert price. So you can see React suspends for loading states and it has told that. So I will just say implement the plan. Now it will implement the plan. So okay, it was in the plan mode. So let's wait it. Let's wait for it. Okay guys, so you can see that it is editing a lot of files in parallel. So if you go to this file is right now empty. This is also empty. This is empty. Okay, this was the earlier file. I think it doesn't update live. It only updates once it has done updating. Okay, so it has implemented. So you can see, obviously I stay in India. So my prices are in Indian rupees and that is 2190.3 per month. That is for $25 per month. And again, zero is zero always. So you can see how fast this is. And if I had opened, now let's see the code for your understanding how it is using the location service. So you can see it is calling a URL IP API.pojson and it is sending like the fetch request and it is like getting the response like whether it is able to fetch the location or not, and if it is able to fetch the location it is converting into data and returning the country name, country code, currency and city. So this particular API does everything: so currency, country code, country name and city. So this is what we are getting from the location data. And what happens is that whenever I am browsing some web application, my IP address is stored in them. So they are using my IP address for their location data. And if I go to the pricing, use pricing, so you can see if it is not currency, like my default USD and United States is default, and it is getting all the rates. So if I go to the price utils, you can see there are two prices, $0 and $25, and it will convert that. And minimum fraction digits, it's 2, 0 for the minimum, and maximum is 2. And if I go to the pricing section, here you will see the imports. It is using pricing, price utils, and use pricing. These two are the important functions, like the files we need here. So if I go to the $25 plan, okay, so if I go to the simple transparent pricing, okay, so you can see it is using base price, period, and popular. So this is the price display component, and we are passing the price here. And if you go to the plan dot base price dot professional, and base prices. So we have to get base prices. And if we see the file, where can we get it? So get base prices is fetched from the price utils. So if you go to this, and you will get what are the base prices. So this is how we use it. And if you go to the use user location, here you will get how to fetch the user location. So this is all the code which you really don't need to understand. But again, if you are a developer, you will understand the code. But this is how you can prompt AI to generate the code better, and you can see how better the code was because we have properly prompted our way. And this is what I meant, and this is what you should use. So let's get into it, and I will see you in the next video where I will talk about JavaScript libraries which you can use right inside your React file or in your Next.js application, and how it is way better than APIs. And you will understand where to use APIs, and you will understand where to use JavaScript libraries. And it is always better to not write code yourself. You should always use these two methods to get code from someone else. So I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye for now.